You have to pick and choose. It's a cornucopia, it's everywhere.
As time marches on,
The best history in Virginia isn't read in the books.
you'll find one man nipping at its heels.
The dark side of Virginia.
John Plaschel is on the ultimate scavenger hunt,
And I've come across probably over 10,000 structures.
searching high and low, near and far, before it's too late.
These places are pretty easy to find. You know, if you just drive around the back roads, they're everywhere.
The 49-year-old photographer enters places that would make people shudder.
You know, sometimes I find just shells of homes. Other times I find gorgeously ornate abandoned mansions that are fully furnished.
From homes and churches to restaurants and insane asylums.
I love going into the middle of nowhere to shoot old homes at night by myself.
The more decrepit, the better.
When you come into these places and you get access to these places, you become a part of them.
Some photographers work with pets and children, others landscapes and weddings. For this rural explorer, empty and abandoned create the best marriage.
As you can see, it's the beginning of the end. And this is pretty typical. There's another one right there, and there's another one behind us. They're everywhere.
Dusty artifacts provide clues, but create so many questions.
This paper was on the floor, and it was dated January of 1970. So we're coming on 50 years that this place has been abandoned.
John takes only photos, leaving nothing but footprints.
The dilapidation effect to me is pretty appealing.
The Northern Virginia native finds a kinship with crumbling buildings across the Commonwealth.
When you travel the rural roads of Virginia, you end up finding places like this.
They are structures with soul.
When you see it, that's the first thing that comes to mind is there's this sadness that's imparted.
This photographer's hobby has developed into a full-blown obsession. These are my rainbows. Recently, John published A Beautifully Broken Virginia.
There's nothing prettier in my life. And then when you find out the history and the people that once occupied them, that's the cherry on top.
Age hasn't been kind to his subjects. Some are past the point of no return.
There's not a whole lot I can do about the vast majority of them, about preserving them structurally, but I can preserve their memory through photography.
Without people living inside, the buildings fall into a state of decay.
Nature seems to have a sixth sense. It tends to know when it's time to reclaim what's hers. It just does.
One of John's subjects, historic Hamilton High School in Cartersville.
When you see a place like this, I literally was wiping the drool off my chin.
Built in 1910, class was dismissed for good in 1964. John says places like Hamilton make up our fabric.
Right now, this place is basically screaming, "Save me."
Lending his talents, John is hoping to save Hamilton from further deterioration.
It's like a museum to Cartersville. It has stood here for 109 years.
Elaine Whitley bought the school with her late husband in 1999. Plans for a bed and breakfast and dinner theater never panned out.
He approached me about doing pictures in the auditorium, and things have just taken off from there.
A grateful Elaine says John might be Hamilton's only hope.
Well, for me, it was a godsend that he came here.
It's everything. It's everything. It's everything.
Former student Mo Duncan
This sucker right here got that smile on his face. Look at him grinning.
says his alma mater is worth restoring.
Yes, I do. 110%.
Mo marvels at the stranger's dedication, saving what some label an eyesore.
I think he's done a fantastic job, and I hope he keeps up the good work.
John Plaschel sees beauty in places like Hamilton.
Charm. They don't build them like they used to.
He is a photographer on the move, exposing Virginians to his canvas of conservation.
They're a part of our history. It's a part of where we came from. I'm just glad that he's trying to preserve Virginia.